Senator Pratt.
Thank you. Well, this afternoon I rise to support the wonderful work being done by the community of Collie towards a just transition, work supported by the Australian Manufacturing Workers Union. Collie is a coal town, as is evident in its name. It's been that way for 100 years. But now that community is facing inevitable change and facing that change head-on. Coal is actually a finite resource in the town, and even if you didn't believe that climate change is real, you would see that the state has had to make a decision about ending the production of coal-fired energy in its state's energy grid. But as politicians wasted time arguing people on the ground have deeply begun the task of creating a just transition for their community. That work began back as early as 2007. And if you jump forward to today, we have workers, business, community leaders and state government working together to build a new future for the town. And they were here in Canberra yesterday with State Ministers Whitby and Minister Michael, the Minister for Energy and the Minister for Industry, here to talk to the National Parliament about how the Labor government's policies around a future made in Australia intersect with their own plans. I heard directly from delegates from the Griffin Coal Mine and the Muja Power Station, as well as from companies who want to invest in manufacturing green steel and green magnesium, alongside other green metal industries. They're really supportive as communities working together with industry, working together with government, working together with workers and their unions, to hear how these tripartite structures, built from a bottom-up consensus basis, is absolutely critical to getting a just transition right, to making sure that no one is left behind, to build the jobs for workers and their children and the future of their town. The future of Collie looks like advanced manufacturing, green metals processing, renewable energy, big batteries and also tourism. The kind of just transition we're seeing people work on there is world-leading and will have lessons for the rest of the nation who need to make this transition too. It's a transition that's getting attention from many of our major trading partners. Our Prime Minister last week visited the town of Collie and saw what's going on for himself. He was the first Prime Minister to visit there since Prime Minister Hawke. And I'm proud that as a government we're standing up for regional workers across the country. We have, of course, legislated for a net zero economic authority, which will see that interface between communities, industry, state governments and the Commonwealth really get these transitions moving. And move we must, because if we're to meet our climate targets, we must really dig deep into this work now. In addition, a future made in Australia and the legislation attached to that is designed to create the necessary investment to make these transitions possible. And it's our Labor government bringing people together on a tripartite basis. Business, workers, unions, community, government, working collaboratively to make these changes. I want to be clear that those on the opposition benches who find that the idea of tripartitism is so awful, I want to point out to you that industry representatives are very clear about the role of workers and unions. To quote them, "We would not get these projects off the ground without the union." We can get consensus and progress when we have governments, business, communities all working and collaborating together. What we have from the opposition, though, is an expensive nuclear power station.